Once again, Russia has been hit by a terrorist attack. If you remember, in March this year, a deadly terrorist attack took place in a concert hall in Russia's capital, Moscow. This attack was widely covered in the news. In that attack, about 150 people lost their lives and approximately 550 people were injured. Everybody was talking about it. And now, after 3 months, Russia has been attacked again. The last attack took place in Moscow, and this time the attack has occurred in Dagestan region of Russia. Let me show you the location. Look here on the map. This is Russia, the world's largest country by area. Let us go to its southern region. We are focusing on the region between these two water bodies. On the western side, this water body is the Black Sea, and on the eastern side is the Caspian Sea. Do you see this region adjacent to the Caspian Sea, which also touches Georgia and Azerbaijan? This is the Dagestan region of Russia. This place has been attacked. More specifically, when we zoom in, you will be able to see these two port cities, Makhachkala and Derbent. Coordinated attacks were carried out simultaneously on both these cities. These attacks were well planned. You might have heard in the news that terrorists set fire to a church and a synagogue. Just as a church is the place of worship for Christians, similarly, a synagogue is the place of worship for Jews. Consider it a temple for Jews. So in both these cities of Dagestan, Islamic militants targeted the church and the Jewish temple. A police post was also attacked. Civilians, priests, and many police officers lost their lives in this horrific attack. Obviously, Russia is totally shocked. Russia has said that through such attacks, an attempt is being made to destabilize the country. If you look at the timing of the attack and learn about the regional dynamics of the area where the attack took place, you will be able to understand why Russia is saying so. First, let us talk about the timing. In March, Vladimir Putin won the election and became president of Russia for his 5th term. After winning the election, Putin said that he would make Russia even stronger. But just a week later, in a concert hall near the Kremlin in Moscow, 4 gunmen entered and carried out mass shooting and knife attacks. Islamic State Khorasan, which is an affiliate group of ISIS, took responsibility for this horrific attack. The terrorists sent a message that no matter how much you promise security and stability to your people, we have the capability to enter your capital and eliminate you. The US had informed Russia a few days in advance that terrorists were planning an attack and that it could happen soon. But even with this warning, Russia could not stop the attack. This failure cast Russia's intelligence and security structure in a bad light. Russia's vulnerability was exposed. Also, this attack dented the image of Vladimir Putin. So, you see, a week ago, Putin's grip on Russia tightened for the next 6 years. He promised to protect Russia from internal and external threats. But just a week later, a brutal attack on the capital raised doubts about all these promises. Similarly, look at the timing of the recent attack. Russia is advancing in Ukraine. It has signed a defense pact with North Korea about which Western countries are very nervous. Europe's economy is in bad shape, whereas Russia's economy is doing better despite the war and sanctions. Russia is increasing military and technological engagement with India. It is able to sustain its defense industry with the support of China. Russia is also improving ties with Vietnam. The emerging axis of Russia, China, Iran, and North Korea is troubling the West. So, at a time when Russia is becoming stronger and increasing its outreach, a terrorist attack suddenly takes place. Russia, which was focusing outside the country, suddenly gets a powerful blow, forcing it to focus inside the country. Obviously, all this did not happen randomly. This is a well-planned attack. Now, look at the dynamics of this region. This mountainous area, located in southern Russia, is called the North Caucasus. As we have seen, it is situated between the Black Sea and the Caspian Sea. This region is predominantly Muslim, and the problem of Islamist extremism has been plaguing this region for many years. Historically, this region has experienced a lot of unrest and many uprisings. Let me tell you about a recent example from Dagestan. More than 80% of the people here follow Islam, while Jews are a minority. We know that last October, Hamas attacked Israel, after which Israel invaded Palestine. Following this, a lot of anger was observed among the people of Dagestan. The population of Israel is predominantly Jewish, and the population of Palestine is predominantly Muslim. So, when Israel invaded Palestine, anti-Jewish sentiment began to surge among the Muslim population of Dagestan. Many incidents of violence against Jews came to light. In one incident, the Dagestan airport had to be closed temporarily when a Muslim mob gathered there. As soon as a flight from Israel landed, a crowd looking for Jewish passengers gathered. The rioters had to be arrested, and Dagestan airport was closed for a while. Islamic State Khorasan has praised the recent terrorist attack in Dagestan, stating that, quote unquote, this attack shows that our brothers in Caucasus are still strong. This terrorist group is thus praising the beheading of a priest in Derbent, as well as terrorists setting fire to a church and synagogue. The head of the Dagestan Republic has stated that Islamic sleeper cells aim to create panic and fear here. Russia is constantly grappling with violence, extremism, and separatism in this region. In places like Chechnya, Dagestan, Ingushetia, and Kabardino-Balkaria, anti-Russian sentiments are evident. Terrorist groups like ISIS exploit these sentiments to recruit fighters from here and neighboring areas of Central Asia. Many people in these regions harbor grievances against the Russian state, which makes them susceptible to terrorist propaganda and recruitment into military groups. Consequently, they often clash with Russian security forces. The Russian regime responds with a firm hand, further fueling anti-Russian sentiments. This cycle perpetuates instability, violence, and tensions in the region. There is a growing discontent among the local population towards the Russian regime. Due to the Ukraine war, there has been considerable unrest in Dagestan. The Russian government issued mobilization orders here to gather people for fighting in Ukraine, leading to widespread protests against these orders. People are reluctant to send their sons to war, especially considering the high levels of unemployment and poverty in the region. They argue that sending the primary breadwinners of their families to war would make survival very difficult. Moreover, widespread corruption erodes trust in local authorities, leading to frequent protests. The Russian regime cracks down heavily on these protests, which further intensifies anti-Russian sentiments. Russia's rivals seize the opportunity to destabilize the country by exploiting these sentiments. Look, it is the harsh reality of geopolitics that often attempts are made to destabilize rival countries in order to gain strategic advantage. Countries employ various strategies and tactics to weaken their rivals, making them easier to control and advancing their own interests. This is why we see instances where one country interferes in another country's elections, funds protests, and encourages separatism, all efforts to destabilize. In the information age, new methods have emerged such as disinformation campaigns, cyber attacks, and propaganda. These methods exploit divisions within rival countries, portraying their governments or institutions in a negative light. So, the economic sanctions on Russia and the diplomatic pressure being exerted on the international stage by building an anti-Russia narrative, all this is a part of a strategy to destabilize Russia. Therefore, Russia believes that Western nations are not achieving the outcomes they expected in the Ukraine war. The sanctions have not crippled Russia's economy as anticipated. So, as Russia is navigating strongly through these challenges, terrorist activities are being supported by rivals to sow chaos within the country. Efforts are being made to destabilize Russia. You may have noticed a sudden increase in terrorist attacks in the Indian Union territory of Jammu and Kashmir. Pakistan is attempting to create instability in the region. You will soon get a video on it. Let me end this video here. I hope you found it useful. Thank you for your time.